Hi, this is Robert Colquhoun, Director of International Campaigns.
La vida en Colombia está lleno de frutos.
People start saying that, if your thoughts fall foul of the popular opinion, that they're somehow criminal.
Mi hija ha decidido no abortar.
Our freedom in a democracy, in our open society, begins with the freedom of speech.
Ante todo, los pilares de 40 días, ¿no? La oración, el ayuno, la yoga.
So sometimes it's just a little thing that we have to do. So
también dignidad, que son creados también por
But
Dios.
beyond what we say, anything we do at 40 Days for Life, anything we say to defend the unborn, we do with love.
Los bebés no tienen que ser abortados de una madre.
40 Days for Life International Podcast.
El podcast de 40 días por la vida internacional.
Well, hello and welcome to another session of the 40 Days for Life International Podcast. My name is Robert Colquhoun. I'm the Director of International Campaigns for 40 Days for Life. Please go to 40daysforlifeinternational.com and like, review and share and comment on this podcast as well. We'd love to get you engaged with some of the content. We've had many interviews with leaders so far, but we're profiling some of the leaders of the international movement, 40 Days for Life. We're reading pro-life leaders, engaging content. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy our podcast today. We're really honored and blessed to have Pamela Delgado, who is the leader of 40 Days for Life at Colombia. She's also working full-time with communication outreach for 40 Days for Life now, traveled all around the world for 40 Days for Life, but most importantly, she's done an incredible job in getting 40 Days for Life started in Colombia from absolutely nothing, from scratch, to having a solid, consistent nationwide campaign of well over 50, 60 vigils, and also seeing hundreds of babies saved from abortion. And the relevance and importance of this is that if one person can do this, one person can start a seed of a movement, and then which develops into a national movement. This is why this interview today is so important, is hearing from our leaders who have seen on the grassroots the day-to-day reality of what abortion looks like. And Pamela has a stunning story of not only the neighborhood in Colombia, but also the history of abortion in Latin America and the hope that the church can bring on the streets for the pro-life movement. So Pamela, how are you today, and how are things in Germany?
Hi, Robert. Thank you for the invitation. I am very good here in Germany. Yes, so fine.
Very good. We've had a bit of technical spiritual warfare getting the podcast started today with the internet. And my feeling is that somebody does not want this interview to happen, because not only did my car not start, but we also had problems with the internet. But here we are, and
here we are.
It's holding together, and grace and divine mercy are holding us together at all times. So let's start at the beginning, and like the very kind of, how did you first kind of get involved in pro-life activism? You saw an advert on a bus, I remember, and the kind of calling to get involved at the very beginning. Sort of, how did you first get involved, and how did it all start for you?
Yes, it was in 2015. I was in Colombia. I am a Catholic all my life, but I am very active. In that moment, I was leading prayer groups. I was praying the rosary with my friends. I was involved in many Catholic communities, but I've never been in the pro-life movement until that time. But also I was living in that moment emotional crisis in my personal life. And I was asking God, please show me a mission. I feel that I am not important for you. I feel my heart was broken. I feel that I do not have a place like for you, God. Please call me to do something. And I remember that night that I was praying him and asking him to give me that mission. And some days after that, I went to a Catholic group to pray the rosary and to be with friends, Catholic friends, and they show us a flyer from Pro Familia that is the same as Planned Parenthood in the United States and is the same as Pro Familia here in Germany. In Colombia, it's also called Pro Familia. And they said to the young ladies, let's go do your abortion and we will be with you. You just need your ID from your student ID and you can get your abortion. We will be with you. And I was shocked with that. I don't know why, because I have never been in the pro-life movement, but in some sense, I felt that I was letting the demon, the evil, to go forward and to conquer the hearts of the ladies that maybe were pregnant and were in a crisis, were feeling alone, and maybe it was a temptation for them from the demon. And I start feeling a fire in my heart, and I said, "Oh my God, what if that goes to my nephew? Yes, to the daughter of my sister, of my brother. What if this flyer came to my life many years ago? Maybe I was confused, maybe I was feeling alone, maybe I had a temptation." So I start feeling, no, I have to do something. I am very happy praying the rosary inside my house, the church, but I think that we as Catholics should go outside and we should do something to stop this crisis and these difficult situations that we are living all around the world, not just abortion. But that was the first call that I felt a fire in my heart. And in that moment, I start talking to all my Catholic friends and I say, hey, we should do something to stop this. Pro Familia is doing advertisement, not just in the flyers in the street, but also in the buses, also in the streets, in advertisement, a big campaign. And I said, they have a lot of money and we have to do something, because if we are very Catholic, as we say, we should do something. So yes, in that moment, we made a meeting with my friends and we talked about this campaign from Pro Familia, and we said, okay, what can we do? Maybe we should go to the streets and give flyers to the people talking about the reality of abortion or giving options. But I was thinking, oh my God, I do not know anything about pro-life movement in Colombia. I do not know any foundation, nothing. So I think we have been quiet in this topic. So some weeks after that, in a meeting that I invite some people, many people came to the meeting, people that I never met before, and they were pro-life leaders in Colombia. And for me, it was a surprise because, for example, I met for the first time Jesus Magaña. He is a father of 5 children, I think, 5, yes. And he's very Catholic, and he leads the March for Life in Colombia since 2005, when the abortion was in Colombia unpenalized. Not you can have an abortion in 3 causes: when you are when the women are raped, when the baby has problems, or when the life of the mother is in risk. So since 2005, Colombia started doing abortions in these 3 cases. That is every case, because it is also when the mother has, for example, is sad, she's depressed, she's confused. That is also a cause to have an abortion in Colombia. So Jesus Magaña started in 2005 to do the March for Life every year, and I was shocked because I've never been in a March for Life. How come that I am a Catholic, very active Catholic, and they never invite me? Or where am I? Where I was doing? How can that happen? And then I also met Margarita Geneco. She's a woman that led a foundation that is called Camino. This foundation has more than 15 years, and they are located, they had in that moment their office in the middle of the abortions neighborhood that we have in my city. And she support the women that are looking for an abortion. So amazing. I was shocked, and I said, oh my God. So there are many people doing a lot of things, and this is a big problem, but we have to spread the voice. We have to go outside, and we have to invite people like me that we are common people praying in the church, and we have to do something. So yes, in that moment we had a brainstorming. Maybe we should do outside, maybe we should go to schools, many ideas, as many of us, we always think many ideas we can do, but nothing concrete.
So at the beginning, did you was anybody at school, or did you know anyone who'd had an abortion kind of getting out, starting very early, like maybe a friend at school or a relative or anything like that? Was there like an emotional connection with the topic, like right at the beginning?
Yes. You think that this is not important, but yes, it was in the bottom of my heart, because in school, when I was in 11th grade and we finished the school, one of my friends were pregnant, and she was pregnant and she was in a crisis, and she decided to have an abortion.
Wow.
And I remember this situation, like for us, the friends, we had funny, we were laughing at that. We were so immature, we were so stupid about this topic, and we didn't do anything against her abortion, and she did it. And it was in my heart, but I never realized that I have been complicit. I don't know how to say in English. I support her.
Sure.
I didn't do anything to stop her to killing her baby. And after many years, because it was, I think 20 years.
Wow.
No, or 15, I don't know. But now I am not so close to her. Maybe she knows that I am in this movement, and she's a little away from me. She do not talk about this topic, never.
Yeah.
And but I know that she is not like, I felt that she stopped like growing emotionally. She's in the parties, in this life. And I don't know. I think abortion is something real, and it's something strong, and it makes a wound in your heart. It really hurt you. Maybe you do not realize, but it made a big wound in your heart. But yes, it was in my past. I wasn't aware of that. But I think the Lord never keeps anything. He always let you heal, and also to ask for forgiveness, because I was with my friend when she did that. So yes, everything was like for me like in one moment my eyes opened, Robert. It was amazing because I opened my eyes for the first time, and I understood the reality of abortion. The Lord gave me a lot of information, and I understood the contraceptives for the first time. I understood the abortion pill. I understood that the abortion is a big industry full of blood. I opened my eyes, and I realized that I have in my city, Bogotá, Colombia, a neighborhood that is called Teusaquillo, that has 34 abortion centers. And for me, it was okay. How come? Pamela, what were you thinking about? If you are Catholic, maybe you should do something. Maybe you should go there, and maybe you should look at the face of the people or the woman and give some help. So I realized this situation of my country, and yes.
So when you got started, this was like 2015, I think it was, and there's a neighborhood that has a lot of abortion centers in one small area. And then there's people like selling abortions in the street. How many abortion centers are there in that particular area, doctor's surgeries? And there's a church there as well, right in the middle of that area.
Yes, it is amazing. So when we decided with my friends to start doing 40 Days for Life, because a friend of mine asked me, Pamela, there is 40 Days for Life. What is 40 Days for Life? It is a big movement that is from the United States. They do vigils in front of abortion centers during 4 days. My friend has been in England, and she knew 40 Days for Life for the first time there in your country. And she said, Pamela, maybe if you have this fire in your heart, maybe you should start 40 Days for Life. I said, yes, I would do it. Sure, I would do it. And I started thinking we should do it in Teusaquillo. That is the abortionist neighborhood, the biggest of the world. So yes, with 12 friends. We were 12, like the 12 apostles.
great.
We were 12 people, and we went to Teusaquillo, and we started looking at this neighborhood that is beautiful, but inside of those beautiful houses there are abortion centers, legal and no legal abortion centers, and there are also guys that they are winning 15% of each abortion when they seduce a woman to have an abortion. So when you are a woman and you walk in this street and you are like in a fertile age, you receive a card like this, and they say abortion, abortion, and they give it to you like underground. Abortion, I can help you. Please come. So they, like the demon, that is
creepy.
That is like with tentacles. Come on, if you are in a crisis, don't worry, we can help you. 15 minutes. You have to pay 400 pesos, and that's it. No worries. And so yes, this is a very dark industry, and we start talking with these guys. Also, one of them, his nickname is Chucky, as this demon guy, Chucky, and he told me that he was very tired of being in this industry, working in this street that is Teusaquillo, the 34th street, and that he was tired, and that he has seen many abortions. For example, one lady that has had 18 abortions, one next to the other one. Wow. And he said, oh, you know what? This is like a contraceptive. The women do not understand what they are doing. And you know what? He said, I have a lot of money. I win a lot of money here. And this is from the devil. And there is tentacles. He told me, and he's not Catholic. He's a guy that is working in the abortion industry. And he said, I know that this is the demon, and that he is with the tentacles at trapping us to be here and to work here because we have a lot of money. And this is a very bloody industry. And we know this is no good, but we cannot go outside because we are trapped here in this business. And I said, oh my God, so we have to be here for sure. So we start doing our t-shirts, 40 Days for Life t-shirts. We received a visit from Matt Britton and his daughter, Catherine, that is called Catherine. And they went for the first time, and Matt Britton and Catherine, they was shocked with this neighborhood. You cannot imagine. He was, oh my God, what is this? I cannot understand. In the middle of this neighborhood, there is a beautiful Catholic church that is called Santa Ana, like the grandma of Jesus, Santa Ana. And this is beautiful church, I remember. But in that moment, the church was like, with the lights turned off, dark, with the doors closed. I remember the priests were a little closed to me when I get into the church and propose about doing 40 Days for Life together, because the church is in the middle. And he said, oh, I don't believe, I do not have hope with this kind of movements and activities. Everyone wants to do a lot of things, but you know what, Pamela? The Catholic women that are supposedly they're working pro-life, they are doing a lot of abortions, and they come here to get a confession, and I do not have hope. Why should we do this? So he was very, very sad. For me, he has lack of hope in that moment. And Matt Britton were with me. He was with me, and we were together to talk to the priest. And at the end, the priest say, okay, let's do it. Do whatever you want. You can do the Holy Mass here, and you can do the vigil outside in front of the abortion center. And yes, that's the way we started in 2015.
So you had a 24-hour vigil on your first campaign. And what kind of response did you get from the public? It's like, did the feminists come out straight away, or at what point did you get sort of some kind of kickback?
No, it was terrible because, as I said, in that moment, Colombia was very quiet about abortion topics. It was a taboo. Nobody talked about it. The women were wounded with the situation of their own abortions, and they do not want to talk about it. And everyone was quiet. And as I said, it was just a few people from very few movements that went outside to the March for Life. And no, they were no debate about abortion. So when we started with my 11 friends, we were 12 together. I remember we said, oh my God, we're gonna be alone. We just have our candles and our t-shirts of 40 Days for Life, and of course our banners that they said, oramos por el final del aborto, pray to end abortion. We all also designed beautiful other banners like, your life is in my hands, you are not alone, others directed to the doctors that are working in that abortion center. And we said, you started to save a life, not to kill. The baby is also your passion. You have to take care of the baby also. And yes, we were very happy, very joyful. We start that vigil, of course, with a little of fear because we thought we had to be alone. And but of course we did before the vigil started, we did a lot of how do you say, we spread the voice all around Bogota,
promotion,
promotion, but a lot. And I was shocked because I realized how big and how beautiful is my Catholic Church. Many churches, many movements, many prayer groups. We went everywhere. And when we start in September 20, I think it was 23.
Okay.
In that moment, 2015, but September 2023. So we went outside and we said 24 hours, no other option. We have to go like directly against the enemy, against this bloody industry. And we went outside, and you cannot imagine, Robert, I have pictures. Maybe we can show some pictures here, but it was amazing. A lot of people joined us. They came with the buses, big buses, parishes outside Bogota or from Bogota with the priest and with all his community. They came with us to pray all night long, all day long. On Fridays, young people came with their guitars. We started making worship. Oh, it was beautiful. On Saturdays, we did a vigil for the children. So many children. Oh, no, Robert, it was, for me, it was a very beautiful situation that changed my life forever. Forever.
So
beautiful.
At the end of that first campaign, kind of what were the results? Like, how many people did you have participating? How many kind of babies were saved? And just kind of what precedents did you set? And then how did you develop from that first campaign into a nationwide campaign spreading all across the country? How did that happen? Did it happen straight away? Did it happen incrementally, just progressively? Or what was that growth like from one to many campaigns?
If we count, we can say we had 5,000 people that went to pray with us 24 hours. Every time there were like 70 people praying.
That's amazing.
Every time, Robert. It's amazing. The people were feeling a very big call from heaven to be there. The people were in their knees. The people were also crying, praying, feeling what is abortion. And all the neighborhood was shocked with us. All those guys that were selling abortions and also the abortion industry in those abortion centers, they were shocked. Oh my God, what are they doing? Are they paying them? And no, they are not paying us. You know what? The Lord is paying us because He's showing us this miserable industry, and He is paying us with mercy. He is giving us healing. He is giving us hope. He is giving us joy to be here. And I think we have had 5,000 people praying. In the middle of the campaign, there were a baby saved from abortion because the mother, she was in crisis. She is called Sandra, and she was in crisis. She wanted to go to another abortion center, but she thought that abortion center had something difficult to go inside. So she decided to go to the other one because there are a lot of abortion centers. And when she went into this abortion center, we were in front praying. And one of us, that his name is Jesus, he's a beautiful guy. I remember him with a lot of love. And Jesus went to to Sandra, and he gave her a flyer that we did a flyer from 40 Days for Life, and it said, "You are not alone. We can help you." So he gave her the flyer, and she said, "Oh my God." She started crying. So he said, "Come, Sandra, you are not alone. Come with us." And she crossed the street to our side, and she started praying with us, all our volunteers around her, hugging her and praying for her. And she said, "I want to have an abortion. I am alone. My boyfriend left me, and I do not want to be a single mother. And I am very sad, but I wanted to have an abortion, but at the same time, I was praying, please, God, give me an angel that show me what to do." And in that moment, she saw Jesus, that is our volunteer, and she changed her mind. So that was the first baby saved from abortion. That baby today is 5 years old. She is called Violeta. She's beautiful. She's big. She's big, and she was the first baby. Then at the end of the vigil, we have had 10 babies saved from abortion, and many volunteers, and of course a lot of manifestations against us from the feminism group that they were like do not expecting us to do that. They were very happy doing their business, because we, the other side, the Catholic side, the good people, we were quiet,
doing nothing,
quiet in our churches, doing our stuff. And they, in that moment, they were going forward, doing advertisement campaigns, seducing ladies, and doing a lot of abortions, and breaking a lot of hearts, and pushing ladies to have contraceptives when they are in schools, very small. So they were shocked with us, and they went many times to our vigil to do manifestations, very loud manifestations, also there is a type of music from Brazil that is called la batucada, and is with drums and así ta 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 ta. And also they were kissing each other in between women, and also smoking marijuana, drinking beer, like a lot of things that they wanted to, to lack of respect, and to show us that they do not care about us, and that they are powerful, and that they are that they are better than us. At the end, we didn't care about that. We were very happy to have those manifestations. When they came a lot of times. We get in our knees and we start praying for them, and it was impressive, because we tried to look at them, at their eyes, because they were women and ladies, young ladies, beautiful ladies, but with a lot of hate in their hearts, saying, "My body, my choice. Your church should be burned. You are patriarcado. You are ugly." But a lot of things. And we said, "Lord, please save this soul. Please love her through myself." And we start looking at them, and they could not look at our eyes, you know? They couldn't. And they was like, "Oh my God," they hide, and they continue, but they hide, and they stay with us like 30 minutes, and then we left. They left, but we stay 40 days. And at the end of the vigil, when we went in the day number 40, we finished with a midnight Holy Mass, beautiful Mass, with a lot of candles and with a lot of testimonies, with a lot of people. The church was full. I want to show you this picture, maybe in this moment. That is the picture of the last Holy Mass, the day 40.
Oh, it's an amazing picture with the light coming from the church.
Exactly. And it was full. The people cannot go inside because there were a lot of people, and the church is big. So iconic. I think there were like 1,000 or more people in that Holy Mass. And when we finished, we were very tired, Robert. I remember that I was like
exhausted.
An skeleto. How do you say skeleton?
Skeleton, yeah.
Skeleton in my bones. I was like with this. No, I was I was dying, and I lost the time and the space. I was like inside the vigil. Also my friends, And at the end, we were so tired, but the Lord said, you have to continue. The next vigil, it was November. And the next vigil was in February. So we just have like 2 months to rest and to breathe. But the Lord said, yes, I want it. And at the same time, there were like 5 or other 10 cities that called us, and we also called them. It was a work that we did together. They asked us, how can I bring this beautiful campaign to my city? Or we called them to invite them to join us. And in the next vigil, we had 10 cities in Colombia. The next one, we had 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, 65. In this moment, we have 65 vigils.
That's incredible. Yeah.
Incredible, all around Colombia. And not just a vigil, like a number, 65 vigils. It's not a vigil, it's a leader. It's a leader.
It's a campaign, it's a movement,
It's a leader that is completely in love with 40 Days for Life. When we have our meetings at the end of the vigil, we have a call with them. And this is like a long call, like 5 hours. We talk, all of the leaders, 65 leaders talking, and each story, Robert, is beautiful because you can see the Lord, how change her life, their life, the leaders, how heal their lives, their marriages, their families, a lot of very difficult situations that 40 Days for Life has recovered and has healed, just because the leader said yes to the Lord. And the Lord is very generous, and he changed our lives, and he gave us love to heal all our wounds. It's beautiful.
It can be on the personal level as well, that people can have their marriages healed. They can have, whether post-abortive or just find healing from friends, relatives, just the number of people that you can reach. And as you're saying earlier, all it takes is for good people to do nothing for evil to flourish as well. And you've had the most incredible baby showers of, 20, 30 mums with their babies. These really iconic pictures of baby showers, blessing the mothers who've chosen life for their babies outside the abortion centre. But then you've gone on to support them afterwards. And then you've had these amazing parties with the babies, just incredible pictures. Tell us about some of the baby showers and the Mothers 40.
Yes, because when we finished the first vigil, as we had 10 women that said yes to the life, we said, we have to do something. Of course, 40 Days for Life. And the first step is very important because it's a prayer that is crushing, that is open doors. But then the woman said, yes, okay, I will have my baby, but I am alone. And you said you will help me. So you have to help me. And we said, oh my God, this is a next step that we were not counting on. But the first thing we did is we opened a WhatsApp group that is called God is Love. We put all the women, the ladies that said yes to the life, and also the volunteers, women that are touched in a very impressive way to help the mothers, because this is not for everyone. You have to have a call inside your heart to help the woman, to talk to them, to help them in the crisis. So we make this group and we start helping them with our friendship, not with money, not with anything, just with being with them anytime. Talking to her. If you have, if you cannot sleep well, please call to me, chat with me. I will be with you, with yourself. So that's the way we start. And also, our volunteers wanted to give them something. They wanted to give them Pampers. They wanted to give help, material things, not money, but material things, and also love. So we said, okay, let's do a party, like a baby shower. We didn't have a house, anything. So we go up. We went to a park that is a beautiful park. It's called El Virrey in our city in Bogota, and we create a beautiful place with the mothers, with a lot of presents, Pampers, milk, dresses, everything that a mother can need and a baby can need. And we had this beautiful party so that we gave them support, material support, but also it is a beautiful way in which you can join the volunteers with the mothers if it is possible. I know not in every country it is possible, but it is important if you have this opportunity because they can share their experiences. And of course, the volunteers get crazy because they said, oh my God, my prayer has been listened to the Lord, by the Lord, and is saving a life, so they can share with them. And that was the beginning. And then many things, because we start growing in this support to the mothers each year, doing more and more and more and more. And there were many people that wanted to help them. So yes,
wow,
that was the beginning.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. And so things have been changing in Latin America because the law has been, gradually liberalized. Certainly in Colombia, the abortion law has changed since you've been involved. It's become more liberalized, the same in Argentina and other Latin American countries. So you've had that kind of the context of that. And just give us an outline of the Colombian culture, the kind of abortion law, the situation of the church. And also we've now got communism going all the way across Latin America now. So that's the context of kind of corruption in the government. So, this is the kind of context, the culture of the country. But then within that, you can have this most incredible campaign which you've had, which has been mind-blowingly amazing, of just, reaching people right where they're at. Just one of the best places to witness for life, in the whole of Latin America. So tell us about the background and culture and context of Colombia and Latin America.
In Colombia, for example, in 2005, the abortion was depenalized. But as I said, it was a very quiet situation. But when 40 Days for Life started, I felt that it burned. It was a fire in many people against and with abortion, pro-abortion and against abortion, pro-life. And it started the level of the discussion in media. The feminism start working very hard and start doing a lot of things. And they have a lot of money and they have a very big incidence in the government. So they start doing political lobby, and they start working to put the abortion not just in the 3 causes, but free abortion in Colombia. And that was their fight. At the same time, in 2018 in Argentina, they also had this fight. I remember that moment. We were in 40 Days for Life. They also had 40 Days for Life in Argentina. And the abortion was also legalized in Argentina. And the same way in all Latin America, we have had a very ugly fight. In Mexico, for example, abortion was just allowed in El DF, in the capital of Mexico. But now you can do abortion in all the states of Mexico. So the legal situation is awful, Robert. It's the worst. With the time in Colombia, for example, they have won a lot of little battles. Now in Colombia, you can have an abortion without any reason until the 6 months. But also, if you have reasons, you can do abortions also at 9 months. So in Colombia, the law do not respect the life of the babies, do not respect anything. In Colombia, we are in a very high crisis, political crisis, because the Supreme Court, they are doing awful things against the Constitution of Colombia. And at the same time, we already have a new president that he is from left wing. He is left wing, and he and all the cabinet, they are from the left side, and they are pro-abortion. The vice president is a woman, and she is pro-abortion, directly declared. She is pro-abortion, feminista, against the woman, because being feminism is go against the woman, against the femininity, against the maternity, against ourselves. They want transgender, they want gay marriages, they want to destroy the family, Robert. And for me, this is very, very hard. Despite that in Colombia, we are spreading our message with 40 Days for Life. And at the same time, the Catholic movement is aware, is working very hard. For example, we have a beautiful Catholic movement that is called Lazos de Amor Mariano, from Our Lady. And they are very committed people. And they start being aware with these all situations that we are living in Colombia. And they create a political party. And now they are working to go inside the government. They already have 2 guys in a very high level, Catholic guys, that they are fighting for us, because Colombia, middle of the country is Catholic, is pro-life, pro-family, but the other half of the country that are the young kids that are educated by the left, the progressive education, sexual education, all this bad education, they are putting the half of our country, the youngest part of our country, that they are against God and against all his laws. But half of the country, we are very Catholic and we're very conservative, and we want the Lord to guide us. So this is a fight. This is a fight in this moment, but I think we are working. We are like inside, in the streets, in the hearts. There are many Catholic groups that are doing a lot of conferences with young people, with the families. We are working as we can, but the lobby politico is awful in Colombia and in Latin America.
Despite a desperate political situation, you can still have a thriving local grassroots campaign, and that's the essence. The point that you're making is, it doesn't matter where you live, it doesn't matter how bad the government is. That's not our issue. Our issue is, what can we do personally, spiritually? We can do a huge amount, and your testimony to that. And I'd love to say, the Latin American conferences we have, the Latin Americans know how to party and they know how to celebrate, and you have the sense of camaraderie and community very strongly embedded, and you also very emotional. And now you're living in Europe, and you're married to Tomislav. You moved to Germany, so it's quite a big difference between Europe and Latin America as well. So what difference do you see in the culture kind of between Europe, which is a lot more secular and kind of older culture? How does that kind of impact the sort of pro-life apostolates? And I love the temperament that you have, the Latin American passion, the style. Abortion's such an emotive topic that it's something that is deeply personal. It's highly emotional. It's polemical. It's a love-hate. You're either kind of for or against quite strongly, and there's not much middle ground. How does kind of being in Europe compare? And you've seen lots of countries internationally now. How does some different countries compare to Latin America? We need to have the parties up to 4 a.m. in the European conferences as well. But how do you see the comparison, Europe to Latin America?
When I came to Europe, to live in Europe, like 2.5 years ago, I saw that here there are not many Catholic movements. The culture is very quiet, but what impressed me a lot is that the Catholics that are here are very Catholics. There are pure Catholics, and you can find them in the traditional Holy Mass. You can find people that are really Catholic, really serious people, and they are pro-life, pro-family. They have big families with many children. The way they dress, respect themselves and the Lord. And I start seeing that in Colombia and in Latin America, we are many people that we are Catholic, but maybe we are not good Catholics in some way, maybe sometimes we are so relative, and maybe we are not so active. But here, less people, most of the people are quiet, but you find good, very, very good and pure Catholics. In the same time, I saw that here in Germany, there is an abortion center that is called Pro Familia, but they do not do abortions. They just do counselings. And here in Germany, I was afraid, but because I thought Germany is very liberal, but at the same time, no, because here in Germany, you cannot have an abortion on the first time. You just can have an abortion until 12 weeks. The baby, that is awful also, because the heartbeat is beating from the 6 weeks or before.
Yeah.
But the abortion is not so easy to have. You cannot have an abortion so easy here in Germany. In Pro Familia, you go to have counseling, and if you want an abortion, then you have to go to a hospital and it's not that easy like in Colombia. But at the same time, our vigils here in Germany, they are full of Croatians and they are full of Spanish people. The Catholics in Germany, they are few. They are beautiful, but they are few.
Yeah.
And this is sad. This is sad. I think the foreign people, people from outside Germany, we are trying to put the fire again in their hearts and to move the things a little more. But yes, that's what I've seen.
But you've now come on board full time with Voice Days for Life, and if you've seen conferences all around the world, and what future do you see for Voice Days for Life internationally? Now you're on board full time. It's fantastic, and there's full of hope. And wherever you live, whether it's Germany, whether it's Colombia, whether it's Mexico, whether it's the UK, regardless of the local culture and climate, there's tons of hope. There's so much opportunity, and we're scratching the surface of what we can achieve, and just seeing the fire in which you had in Colombia, just like, wow, it's so deep. You had a massive campaign just off coming from nowhere. The prayer boards must have been standing there going, what is this? Like, what's going on? What's going on here? But bringing that fire internationally, where do you see hope, and what's the sort of next stage?
I've seen in Europe different countries that are similar to Latin American countries. The character of the people, for example, Poland, Croatia, Italy, of course, Spain, they have this fire and they are very committed. What I have seen is that everywhere that I've been, I've seen people, the same kind of people like in Colombia, that volunteer, that is very committed, that is quiet, that he's not like the showman, but he's very committed. He do a lot of things for life. And I've seen, for example, in Austria, beautiful people, so committed, outside praying 24 hours also. That was amazing for me. They are not Latin American people, but they have this fire because they go outside. So I think this is possible. This is possible here in Europe. Of course, there are many Catholics and also not Catholics, but evangelical or from other religions that they want to join this beautiful movement. Because, I think 40 Days for Life has something that spread, that contagia. How do you say it? Like,
contagious, yeah.
Yes, and because it's so simple. And at the same time, it's so amazing. It's so powerful. It can change your heart and give you peace and give you hope when you are praying outside. And it is also an opportunity to feel that you are fighting for the Lord, that you have a place in the reality, in the daily life here in this time, that you can do something to fight. Because sometimes you watch the TV, you watch the Facebook, the news, and you say, oh my God, how can I do something to help? Because everything is going crazy. Everything is going down all around the world. But 40 Days for Life give us an opportunity to fight, peaceful, but to do something for our world, for our peace. Not just saving lives, but turning on a light of peace in every community. And this is beautiful. A lot of people say, for example, in Mexico, one time a guy that was from the army, he went from a battle and he went to his house, and his wife was with another guy. So he was desperate and he wanted to kill the guy. But he said, I'm going downstairs and I want to breathe. And when he was in the street, he saw 40 Days for Life vigil, and he went and joined the people to pray and to stay one moment to breathe, because he wanted to kill the wife and the guy. And he was calmed down. He was full of peace. The Lord gave him peace, and he stopped. And at the end of the prayer, he said, the volunteers of 40 Days for Life in Mexico, he said, thank you, because you gave me peace. I was crazy. I wanted to kill everybody. My wife is with another guy, but you give me peace, and I am not going to kill anybody.
Wow.
So yes, I think 40 Days for Life is beautiful. Everywhere it can bring us peace to our private life, but also to our community.
Yeah. And tell us about the Mamas 40 initiative as well, because you've helped loads of mums, and then it's kind of, what do you do next? So you've got a sort of, you have a foundation, a crisis pregnancy center to help the mums in crisis pregnancy. So that's really, really beautiful. And, you've saved 700 women from abortion now in
Sí.
Colombia. So that's a phenomenal number, and is just really, really inspirational. It's just like, wow, from nothing, because prior to you coming on board as the first person to lead a campaign, there was no campaign. And as you say, there wasn't that sort of cultural battle, and people, Catholics didn't see this as a spiritual battle, but you've redefined, pro-life activism by what you've done. And, for anyone in a new country, it's like, that's what's on the cards, so pioneering a new effort and getting something off the ground. So, and we get accused often in Britain, it's like, oh, you just care about the unborn baby, you don't care about the mother. So what you're doing with Mama's Forte is showing people that you care about the mother, you care about the baby after birth, not just in the womb. Tell us some of the stories of the mums that have been involved.
Yes, because many people from the other side, they said, you just care about the pregnancy, and you just want to force a maternity, and you just want to push the mothers to have to be a mother, to push a woman to be a mother. You are evil. You are anti-rights, anti-human rights. The woman has to decide if she wants to be a mother or not. But at the end is that if you're pregnant, you are already a mother. No matter what is happening outside, you are already a mother. So if you kill your baby, you are going to be always thinking that you killed your baby, that you pay to that guy to kill your baby. You will never forget that. So for us, it is very important to help the mothers to try to, like a flower, the mothers come to our 40 Days for Life, like, without water, so sad, in crisis. They do not have love from nobody. And when we saw them, we embrace them, we give them love with our friendship, with our whatever we have. And then we start giving them water, vitamins, step by step, and then they open and they start being beautiful, and they fly like a big bird. They are beautiful. So we create with these 10 women in the first vigil, and then more and more and more, we create a group that is called Mamas 40, Mamas 40. And those are mamas that wanted to have an abortion. And what we did with what we start doing is to make a community, because they can help each other. I am in crisis, me too. I cannot deal with the father of the baby. Me too. What can we do? So we have professional people, psychologists, also the gynecologists, and also our volunteers that are trained in sidewalk counseling and in psychological, how do you say, first aid, first psychological first aid. That is called the training we have here in Colombia. And we have this group trained to help the mothers, to listen to them, and to give them conferences every week. So the idea is that we create a community and we give them tools to start realizing that they have a value, that their femininity, they are important, they are beautiful, and the baby is not guilty. The baby is their motor, their force, and the baby is gonna bring her very far. It's gonna make her better. It's gonna make her a very good mother, and the baby is gonna purify her way and to organize her life. And this is what is happening. So we start doing this community. At the moment, we have a lot of mothers in different groups, because the first group of mothers, they already have the babies like 5 years. The babies have 5 years old or 6 years old. Then we have the mothers that has the babies that are already learning how to walk. There is another group with the mothers that are with the babies in lactancia, giving breastfeeding. And there is another group of mothers that are pregnant and that are in the crisis. So we have different groups, and in each group we have different activities. Then with the time, there was a volunteer that helped us to have an office. And in the office, we had many things that the people gave us, like Pampers and things for the babies. And of course, another room to make the conferences with the mothers each week. and another room for the kids, and another room for the volunteers. So we have like the house 40 house is the Casa 40.
Cool.
And this house is in the middle, of course, of the neighborhood that is full of abortion centers. Actually, in this moment, our house is in front of the abortion center that we were praying in front, the first vigil. So here is our office and here is the abortion center. And the idea is now the foundation is with 40 Days for Life. It's serving 40 Days for Life to grow and to expand. And we are trying to do a lot of things because in Teusaquillo there are a lot of volunteers and we have a lot of energy and we have to continue fighting against the enemy that is not just in Bogota. This is a tentacle that is all around the world. They are doing the same things all around the world with the same money, pushing the employees to increase the number of abortions. If they increase the number of abortions, they win more money. So this is awful. We have to work to touch hearts and to open the eyes, like the Lord opened our eyes. So that's our task. We have to open many eyes to see the truth.
If your building's next door to the abortion centre, we know how that story ends because, you know, seeing in Bryan College Station, the pro-life apostolate was right next door to the abortion centre, which eventually closed and then kind of moved into the abortion centre. So, you know, all that is still to come. So it's super exciting. And one of the most beautiful things I've seen has been a woman who's been helped in a crisis pregnancy, chosen life for their child, and then they've gone on to help somebody else in a similar circumstance. So what you're doing with the Mamas 40 and the women's in crisis pregnancy is like, if they, you know, have been helped and then they go on to be helpers themselves, it's a really beautiful moment. And just, wow, it's like you've got all generations there, from the toddlers to the 5-year-olds to, you know, and then they'll grow on to be adults, 18-year-olds in 5-10 years time. And, you know, the generational help, it's so beautiful seeing that work and also being part of that and seeing how that foundation will grow over time, just like the mission is so big. And despite all the government craziness, it's like this mission is thriving in Colombia, like amazingly well. And we want to take that love to every other country around the world, you know, like being on board full time now. It's like the mission is to take that love to all countries, to, you know, especially the places most needed. What message do you have for like 40 Days for Life leaders and volunteers around the world? You know, your testimony is amazing and it shows individually what you can do in one country from scratch, from nothing to having a nationwide campaign. You know, what message do you have for the leaders and volunteers?
Yes, my message for my brothers and sisters from all around the world that wanted to join 40 Days for Life or that are already in 40 Days for Life, we want to hug you. And I want to invite you to join us, because for me, this is a beautiful way in which you can stand up for the truth, for the Lord, to show him that we are from him, and to do something for our faith, for our Lord, for our world, to build the peace that we need. So join us. It's so simple. It's so easy. You just want to be with us. You just want to give your time, yourself, not money, not learnings, not anything, just your time and your heart. And maybe you can change a national situation. You can save many, many lives. Maybe the Lord can change your life and gave you the healing you are looking for.
It's beautiful. And just to hear like your personal journey, the transformation, the passion, the emotion that you have for this subject is beautiful and amazing. And if we can emotionally engage with this topic as well, of, you know, this is a matter of life and death, and this is how important it is. So to be able to say, well, we gave this campaign absolutely everything, we held nothing back, which is exactly your testimony, what you've done. It's how, you know, to know that this is a life that's at stake, and every single person, you know, this is an opportunity to save a life. We can't save everybody, but there's a small number of people that we can reach, you know, and when we do, that's a beautiful and an amazing opportunity as well. So what do you think will be kind of the next stage for like international side? You know, it's like it's building up the communication and it's connecting with other like-minded people. I think we're going to see a lot of rapid growth on the international side now. We've got a really strong team and the communication is getting stronger and stronger. There's so many people like you, Pamela, who we've never connected with in Africa, in Asia, in other parts of the world. We've got these, skills of technology now, of communication, which we've never had before. And now it's a question of engaging like people. We want a campaign in every country in Africa, for example. And we have that in Latin America. Tell us a bit about Latin America now. Now there's a campaign in every single country, I think, in Latin America, pretty much. So that wasn't there like 10 years ago. That was, just Mexico and a few other places. So now every single country is on board on Latin America. What's that like, and how's that feel? How's that feel to have that level of development already?
Yes, Lourdes started for the first time outside, or for the first time in Latin America. She started in 2014 in Mexico, and now in Mexico there are more than 100 vigils. The second country was Colombia, and then there start like Peru, Argentina, Brazil. All of the countries of Latin America, they have a vigil of 40 days for life, except Nicaragua, because Nicaragua has a dictatorial regimen, and the president is a very terrible guy. So he's persecuting all the Catholics, and so it is not possible. And also in Cuba, we have had one vigil in Cuba, and it was beautiful, but at the same time, they had a lot of fear. I remember the leaders were afraid of the government, and we said, no, but you can do it, let's go outside and pray. And they pray and they try, but in Cuba it's so difficult, the situation. Despite that, they are praying inside the churches. And yes, the growth of Latin America is amazing, and also the growth in Europe and all around the world, because in this campaign, for the next campaign, we are having 7 new countries in Europe, right?
Yeah. It's very exciting, and I think there's so much opportunity. And just we're hearing your testimony. I mean, Pamela, you've been a huge inspiration today, and you inspire people all across the world, Latin America, in Europe, and you're bringing, the love, the truth, the goodness, the hope, which you've experienced in Latin America to Europe now, and onwards and upwards. It just takes one person like yourself to build a nationwide campaign, and that's what's at stake. It's not going to come from the government, it's not going to come from the culture, it's not going to come from the mainstream church leadership necessarily. It just comes from an ordinary, normal, grounded person with deep faith like yourself, and this is what is possible. So it's been hugely inspiring to hear your story today, and I hope that you will continue to inspire hundreds of people internationally. Now you're on board full time with communications outreach for 40 Days for Life. There's so much we can do. We can reach thousands of people online. We can connect with people from different continents, and I think pro-abortion movement is going to be the terror which they must have had seeing your first time vigil in Bogota, of just like, what is this and how on earth is this happening? This is what we're going to do on the international side now, and knowing that people are connected with Mexico, USA, UK, Germany, Spain, we're all connected together, and that we're strong and we're moving forward. This is when things kind of begin to move, and this is when the forces of in the darkness, and the darkness cannot overcome it. So thank you so much. You've been a huge inspiration, Pamela. May God bless you. It's wonderful to have you on the team full-time, working full-time. And please rate, review, and comment on this podcast. Share it with all your friends. Go to 40daysforlifeinternational.com and do watch all our other videos as well. We're just at the early stages of doing leader interviews at the moment. We're going to interview celebrities, others, short vox pops, and you're going to hear from our campaigns from countries all around the world. So thank you so much indeed, Pamela. May God bless you. Keep up the amazing work. It's been really inspiring to hear your story today. Absolutely inspiring. May God bless you. Thank you for listening. We look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you, Robert. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
No te pierdas los podcasts de 40 días por la vida internacional, con entrevistas, reportajes y testimonios de todo el mundo.
Don't miss our podcasts with interviews, news, and reports from around the world.